Okay, good morning all. This is Barefoot Grandpa and my assistant Owen
With my stick,
with
my
his
hiking stick.
with his hiking stick. And we're gonna do just something real simple. We're out in the desert, the Mojave Desert. And the desert, we think it's harsh and hard and durable, but really the desert is really fragile. Everything we do in the desert lasts a long time because it just doesn't change. And it's actually one of the biggest gifts we have is this beautiful desert. So one of the things that we do a lot is walk in the desert. And when we walk in the desert, lots of times we leave big old tracks. And it's the same if we're driving a motorcycle or a car. But today we're just gonna think about walking softly in the desert. So when I walk softly in the desert now, I just found these cool shoes that are almost like a moccasin. Okay, they're soft. They don't have a big luggy sole. And when I walk in them, it's just really nice and soft. And it's almost like walking barefoot. And the cool thing is, when we walk now, I don't leave much of a footprint. So we're gonna walk a little bit, and then we're gonna turn around and see how much footprint we left. Okay, where do we go? Oi.
Over to those cactuses.
Over to those cactus. Let's go. Okay, we at the cactuses?
Yep.
Those are little Joshua trees. Okay, so now we're gonna look back and see if we left much of a footprint at all. I see some Owen track right there, but where's Grandpa, Barefoot Grandpa's tracks? See? So the cool thing is, come on back, Owie. So the cool thing is, we walk softly in the desert and leave no or little footprints. That's Barefoot Grandpa lesson on walking softly in the desert. Okay, this is Barefoot Grandpa, and I realized that after my last episode of walking softly in the desert, my filming did not show the actual shoes I was wearing. So I thought I would expand on that today and show you a little bit about some different kinds of shoes and which shoes are good for walking softly in the desert. Okay, here I've got 4 different examples of shoes that I use, and some of these are pretty well worn, and one pair is actually pretty new. So first off, as far as walking in a desert, we're looking for a sole that's pretty soft, and we don't need big lug soles for the desert. These Brooks trail running shoes are actually really quite nice. They're light, they've got a rock plate, you can see they're quite worn out. Super fun and real good on your feet, but not too good to protect against cactus spines. Good for trail running, actually pretty good for hiking. Here I got a pair of Scarpas, and I forget actually what the brand is, but these also have a fairly mild sole. These have a good, hard, rigid rock plate, and they're wonderful as an approach shoe, and they're quite good in the desert. They do catch sand. I wish they had connected the tongue, but with a pair of gaiters, those actually work quite nice. They give great support, and they are good for climbing on the rocks. Now here's a brand new pair. These are called Hybrid Green Label. I just got them, and these are actually almost like walking in moccasins. They're flat, there's no heel raise, very little arch support. For me, that's wonderful because I've become a barefoot shoe fan. Walking on the soft, these are awesome. Got no dust or sand that snuck in, and they were quite comfortable. Not quite as good on the rocks as these Scarpas, but as you can see, the sole is going to leave very little damage in the desert. Now here is an older pair of Scarpas. These are my medium weight trail boot. Now these have the big old Vibram lug sole, and super comfortable, waterproof, great mountain boot, but not for the desert. You don't need this kind of big lug sole pretty much anywhere in the desert, be it the Mojave, the Sonora, the Red Rock lands of the Colorado Plateau. So my choice for desert boots now are these new hybrid green labels, my Scarpas, or my worn out Brooks. And that's the story of good desert shoes. You don't need heavy boots for the desert. So that's finishing up on the Barefoot Grandpa section on walking softly in the desert. So even though I've plugged these different brands here, this is only on my own. These are preferences. There's no commercial link here. So if you like these Barefoot Grandpa videos, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. I'll keep these coming over time. Thanks, and that's all for Barefoot Grandpa.